Never Finished by David Goggins. David Goggins is a retired SEAL, ultramarathon runner, public speaker, and best-selling author of 2019's Can't Hurt Me. I read that when it came out, and that book is all of David Goggins' life story. He went from being in an abusive home when he was growing up to when he was 24, he was overweight, had no self-respect, working as an exterminator, and he decided he was going to turn his life around and become a SEAL. So he lost an absurd amount of weight in an absurdly short amount of time, and he made the impossible happen. Basically, his life story is being superhuman ever since, giving himself challenge after challenge and pushing his body and his mind to the very limit of what's possible for people to do. It's definitely a life worth taking a look at to see what happened here, what's going on, which is why I appreciated this follow-up book, because he talks about his mindset, what he does when he's in a tough situation, when his leg is broken and he has to run 100 miles or something crazy. But that's just what the world that he lives in, of constantly giving himself these physical challenges. I would say that David Goggins' central point seems to be that we have this greatness inside all of us, and the only way to get that out is through suffering, through discomfort, through pushing yourself far beyond what you think is possible. He has the 40% rule, that is, if you're trying to do something and you feel like you've done everything you possibly could, then you're only at 40%. There's 60% that you're still capable of. He seems to be able to reframe almost anything. One line that stood out to me in this book is he says, if you don't think you can do it, then invent someone who can. And that's basically what he did. He invented this drill instructor that's constantly over his shoulder. So when he feels like quitting, he hears that drill instructor telling him it's time to get moving and reminding him of who he really wants to be. And that's motivating enough for him to do all these crazy things. You can't help but read a couple of books by him and not get an existential question for yourself. Like, what is my true potential? What is the 60% that I'm not doing? And what will my life be like if I was really going full 100% at everything? Which is a great existential question to think about. I do wonder what the limiting principle is, because he talks in this book about people who come to him and ask him help in training for a half marathon. His response is, why not do a whole marathon? And I keep thinking, why not do 100 miles? Why not do 200 miles? Like, there's no way to stop that line of thinking. Like, if I get up in the middle of the night and I don't feel like running 5 miles, the correct answer is that I should run 5 miles or 10 miles. So I'm still not sure about its application in the technical sense of things, about how to actually apply it into everyday life. But I give full credit to the book. What makes this book different from any other self-help books is this certain rawness. Most other self-help books, a lot of self-help books, are people who are businessmen and they see that writing a book is the way they're going to make some money. It's part of some business plan. So it's very formulaic, it's very analytical, calculated. This is nothing like that. It is him just pouring his soul and all his suffering, and he just puts it out on the page for everyone to see. And in that way, it's really hard to ignore. And I give him a lot of credit for that. I highly recommend to anyone who's looking for that inner motivation in their life to keep moving, as long as you're okay with a whole lot of swearing. But all in all, I give this book a solid 4.5 stars. If you have any recommendations, leave them in the comments below.